I think I speak for the people when I say that was not exactly how I thought Lotus was gonna go down. But I could surely say for the people, what a map, what a performance coming out from Doughboys here, Gomps. I mean, going into this, even just from the get-go, the very first pistol round, being able to see the coordination coming out from the team was like, wait a second, and it just continued to impress from there.
It did. I think from the start, it was just hard to get past Riku, right? Like, there were so many first picks that we got to see early on the defense when Dobros was defending, and then coming into the attack, like, really applying that pressure and also just forcing this team back and making it almost impossible to get the retake with the deadlock. Like, everything that this team wanted to do, I genuinely, like, they just did so perfectly. And the composition, it was weird. It was different. But that's exactly why it really offset MXS. Mata couldn't play against it because what the heck am I going to do against a deadlock that I've never played against on a map like this? Like, it's so hard to adjust to something that needs time. So I really did enjoy this. Mata had his moments too. I give it to him, but this was just incredibly difficult for like a duelist Raze to get past everything going on here.
Yep, I definitely apologize to Dobros. I apologize to, well, who am I to doubt? James the Wisdom Hayes Cobb. To be able to create such a good synergy out of Dobros and such a good game plan going into this one as well. Not only for being unorthodox on the game plan that they had for the composition, but also the timings that they're able to get. Like the amount of times that Zachary is able to move in these forward positions and catch players off guard and realizing that they stall in one corner and are actually funneling them correctly back into the Outlaw of Zachary, pushed all the way out here towards the seaside spawn. On the attack side, it just shows here that DB really knew those tendencies of how MXS like to default potentially on these 4-1s, and if they're realizing now that there's not too much pressure going through on one end, they could start moving forward on the other end. It wasn't only until finally MXS decided to deathball a little bit more that they started to get some rounds, but it was too little too late at that point. You had to play back versus a 9-3, and then you go back into a round on the second half where you have to play against much more utility here on the attack. And again, just to what Gomper is saying, it's the Clove not being afraid and going with those trade fundamentals, just almost like how Ascension Esports kind of played that Clove with Scuba in a different type of style, but the fundamentals were still there and still sound for Dobros to capitalize on the map.
And I think that was what was impressive to me, that even when MXS switched the pace up and tried to, I think, use a death ball a little bit going on here, Dobros was able to kind of step up to the challenge. Sure, a couple of rounds went by, but not really too many. This is still a very impressive scoreline. And they were shooting back. I mean, it wasn't just this unorthodox comp that they had, Gomps. It was consistently 2-3Ks coming out from the team, really big step-ups that was really just impressive across the board for a team that hasn't really gotten to show us too much of what they're made of in stage one.
There were clutches that should not have happened for Dobros, right? Like we saw the 1v5 situation happening on the pistol round. I believe it was, I'm not sure if it was Riku or Ange, but
Precision on a 1v4,
yeah, Precision. Just kind of pulling through with that. And it's results like that. Like, this team honestly is just failing themselves, and it does carry you a long way. You're on a map you're comfortable with, you're playing a composition you know is going to work against this team because you've watched them, you know what this team is capable of. So then you're coming into this game in particular and you're like, that confidence, in my opinion, definitely brought Dobros on everyone's radar. And I think even moving forward into the second map, I don't care whose pick it is, they played so damn good. I genuinely don't think it even matters. They have the fundamentals down. They have the teamwork down. They know what they want to play for, and they know what they want. So, Dobros, man, you guys got my vote.
I mean, I don't disagree with you whatsoever about the fundamentals, because I feel like the proof's in the pudding right there. We got to see it on the first map. But there's a couple other things that I'd like to bring up when we're looking at this next pack. Because you're talking about, it doesn't matter whose pick it is, whatnot. But when we look back at Lotus, and there was the kind of the download vans on Dobros knowing what MXS wanted to go for and exploiting a couple of those tendencies, the Lotus, the composition they had, and breaking that down, I think was really, really nice going on forward. But now that we do have MXS's pick, I'm not 100% sure, Dobros, how much of breeze they have on MXS, if we'll get to see that repeated, and if rounds start slipping away, since this is going to be something that's a little bit more comfortable for Mata, if Dobros will be able to bounce back.
Yeah, and I also think from Dobro's side, I don't think you would come out with anything that's too unorthodox in terms of how you're going to pull out a composition here. Maybe if they want to pull something out from their usual KO and Jet, it's going to be what? Maybe an Astra or something like that. But I don't feel that it's going to be as, you know, out of left field with like a deadlock or something like that as well. So this should still be like comfortable territory for MXS no matter what here for this second map, and an opportunity for them to, you know, realize that they've had to warm up the first map for MXS. Yeah, it was a loss, but at least they could pull it back on a map that, you know, the aimers could really shine at this point. And that's something like Brock, something like Mata, for example, as well. So we'll have to wait and find out if they're able to bounce back into this one. But I mean, even if it comes down to the basics, you still have Dobros that's really good at shooting back as well.
Yeah, I feel like now going on in the series, it's a case of not wanting to disrespect any team. I don't want to disrespect Dobros and the performance they had over on Lotus, but at the same time, you look back at MXS, the undefeated team here in stage 1, only falling to Oxygen then in the mid-season cup there, Gomps. I mean, they've earned that title of a team to be feared going on into this, and a lost map doesn't strip that from them.
No, it definitely doesn't. I guess like it's more the surprise of you know, how things went down, because you're looking at the game, you're looking at the team and the history, and you're like, dude, there's no way Dobros are coming out of this alive. Like, they're gonna get devoured, and then it works the other way around.
I mean, we definitely got to see surprises on that first map, and the first one started with the Agent Select. This one might be a little bit more atypical, but time to see and head on over to Breeze for map number 2. Take it away, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
The excitement I feel looking at that Yoru on Zachary. I love it.
And that's it, right? So that's what we're talking about. Maybe they're going to come out with a slightly different composition, where in the past that they had this KO with a Jet. But even if it's a Yoru and an Astra that comes out here for Dobros, this is not unfamiliar territory that MXS is going to be, you know, caught off guard with, because this is also different comps that other teams are currently using so far here for what currently Dobros is utilizing for this map. The only thing is, though, is remember, when you're looking on the side of MXS, in a team that's been undefeated in stage 1 and unfortunately have their only loss during the MSC, where, you know, it was a single elimination tournament, all these rounds or all these maps in series that went to a 3-mapper was always MXS losing the first map. There was never one of those where MXS won the first map, then lost the second, and had to battle in the third one. So maybe it's one of those moments again, just looking back at the stage 1, where they have a slow start, but then they bring back 2 maps in a row, and we're going to see a third map. I think it was hot mic for that. I wouldn't be surprised to see that there's going to be a 3-mapper between these 2 teams.
There might be. I don't know. I honestly don't even know. Like, I feel like everything that I think is just wrong right now. Like, everything that I genuinely believed in, I'm just wrong. And when I say it out loud, it just like I'm in a simulation, and it just, anything can happen. So for MXS, I believe. For Dobros, I believe. I'm in the middle right now, honestly. You know what? Whatever happens, happens, and I'm there for it. But for now, at least, I do believe that. I think I did get to see some Yoru on Zachary before, and they performed very well. It was honestly kind of annoying to the other team the last time I did get to see Zachary play on Yoru. So I'm hoping that it is kind of the same thing, because I thought it was an interesting format, the way that they played.
Yeah, if anything, though, the pistol round starting on this round, we talked about how we wanted to be comfortable and try to use or aim a little bit more. It's starting off here for MXS. They got 4 Ghosts and a Sheriff, no Owl Drone to clear out the site. They're just going to try to utilize Brock with the Sheriff to take control of holes, and maybe, depending what picks that they get, where you're going to be a little bit more aggressive here on the defensive side, where they can find punishes, you'll see the lean towards the side. So DB, they were looking for information at the same time towards the elbow. And now it comes down to that minute mark, the mid-round and calls, to see what they want to do. There's pings that are coming out for MXS that shows out towards the cannons, and they're all going to pivot towards that area.
Going up to B. Kind of looking for an entry there, and the smoke is quite interesting. It doesn't really create too much of a cutoff, and honestly, I think it does supply a little bit more space moving into the B site if the attacking side wants to go. So Otoshima finds the first. Now you're gonna have to figure out a way to do whatever you please. Yeah, already onto that drone, feeling pressure all the way back into Arches.
We'll give a free plant, but here's a double flank. I mean, it's pinged out.
Spike planted.
Riku still gets first blood.
And then everybody just settled back into sight. You got Cypher, you know, Otoshima still settled into mid, so they can catch out Drone. And this might be the best case scenario right now. Yep, the wrap around already coming down to it. And finding another. So Otoshima playing the waiting game.
One enemy remaining.
Too good in the end. I mean, at this point, when you've given up the site, the idea was to play around the retake and to flank from behind, and that's being watched all around. MXS was just ready on his pulse plan, and you didn't have too much here for Dobros to fully execute with a recon retake or anything, because we were too forward up here for MXS to allow for these players to really set up to work as a team. So all these timings on flanks, on rotates were a little bit off at that point, and that shows here for MXS not flustered on, you know, the one-sided loss that they just suffered here against Dobros. A very nice pistol round and a clean one on the pulse plan that's going to give them that confidence now in that second map. Already a jump spot spotted from Mata all the way towards this B main. And that's the only Viper jump spotting here. So with that type of jump spot, it kind of gives you a tell here that there might be less players anchored up towards this B site. Yet because the jump spot also saw the outlaw from Mata, it might force DB to rotate over. And right back into the crosshairs of MXS.
And they've collected 1, 2 actually. Just in mid, and they're still pushing that. DB, a rough start. Looking to take a win into their pockets. Or maybe even then just a pick. Might have to be the best case scenario. Yeah, but everybody taken down in a flawless round. So DB really facing some trouble here in the first initial 2 rounds.
Yeah, not too bad there. It's an eco going through, and you tried to stack towards that A site, and again, once you spotted at least the audio call from your teammates saying that there's actually an outlaw towards the window, you're trying to think here that maybe they have a weak side on mid, and you're trying to find some sort of surprise play. Get a backstab, get exit kills, die from Spike, but MXS, all they did was hold towards the spawn and
right here.
Read that correctly and just allowed DB to walk into them. So you're looking at their bonus. That's actually pretty decent, right? They have 2 Bulldogs, Outlaw, Guardian. You heard the updraft at the beginning, so that Mata can get an aggressive position inside the halls. And this might give a chance here for MXS to go for this split into the A site with the door opening up. Just somebody has to fall back to pick up that spike. Oh, and look at that. They did a 140 damage here. Onto precision towards the back of the bridge.
They don't know that's a fake. I think someone's close. I hope somebody is. Zachary pushing through with the TP, wanting to clear the angle down in mid, but Otoshima, the timing is not going to find it. He manages to find one, which is good enough as of right now. Still looking for some sort of information to gather down in Drone, and barely getting by that.
I'm liking this, though. Oh, never mind.
Do not like it anymore. They have no stars to really utilize in this moment, so the Astra is really just going to have to play for the aim here. There's nobody there for refrag potential. Yeah, Vic's just wide swinging the angle, and now Precision kind of caught on. And the rotation coming in late. So unfortunately for DB, they're really just not looking too good.
Yeah, and Precision was also hit for 140 as well from the outlaw of Mata. So Drone just, the only thing he could do is maybe punish some mistakes as they try to rotate outside of the site, but as he just got spotted, that might be the cue here for him to save his weapon. I mean, he's committed to it to try to fight. Now finally wallbang, that should be it. So yeah, I mean, if anything, the reason why I was saying I liked it at the beginning was where Ange was positioned on that left side of pyramid. When this Viper wall came up, he instantly popped up a smoke, and that smoke created a paranoia for MXS to really try to execute and try to flood within that site. So what does that do? You're wasting more time on that fuel of the Viper wall, and you're gonna have to wait for the next reset. And it gives an opportunity for MXS to kind of set up within the site for the second wave of hits. And unfortunately there, it's the outlaw from Mata that was able to get some more damage going into the bricks into the mid pyramid. And that really just foiled the plans in the end of what DB could have really done and how they could have really surprised MXS on their positioning towards that A site. And because they cut noise for MXS, you saw that Drone was still positioned and anchored up towards the B site, afraid that players are going to fall back when they're playing with no information. So
yeah.
Good on MXS to stop and go into the A site re-hit. That really caught DB now off guard. Same time, same channel, same kill. Mata this time does more damage because we have half armor, no armor, a Vandal for drone, and an easy kill.
Kind of settling down though. Drone is more curious as to whether or not this play's gonna work, but I think it will. Maybe not. Timing. Odashima finding the smokes player. So his drone goes down. I mean, now the possibilities are endless. They know they can hit the B site, and that they will, especially with the second pick moving forward.
Yeah. When they pinged and went for the jump here, Riku thought that they didn't think that somebody was going to be towards the window, trying to move forward. Oh, wow, what a shot. Trying to move forward to pick up an orb so that they could try to get the blade storm up ASAP. But unfortunately got punished in the end. Patience showing once again for MXS in the anti-eco. Converting on the plant and maybe trying to see here if they could hunt down these last two players that have rifles that they're trying to save in the next round.
Taking a step back though. Oh, and a huge suppression. I mean, Fly could just play for the pick at this point. They're just looking to get away as safely as possible, but I know Fly is definitely curious. The pop flash moving forward, and they see the barrel of the gun. They knew exactly where they were residing. Ange is just going to have to stay alive from here on out, because now, yeah, the greed starts to come. And maybe if they can find the next one behind, but not going to have to.
It was close. It was close. Where they couldn't save that weapon, but thankfully this was, you know, as we mentioned, a lower buy that we had for Dobros, an opportunity to keep the economy up with that single Vandal that they saved, and it could pay off dividends later on in the first half. But if not, this is finally the first time that we're going to see an op coming out on the defensive side. Took a while a bit here, especially when MXS was able to convert their bonus round. They want to try to get the best value out of this. And this composition that you're currently running here for Dobros, when you're playing the defense on that side, you could still do those pop flashes into B main like you could as if you had the KO. And you're able to have, you know, double dashes, double players running out of, running out of danger between Zachary and Riku with the TP and the dash respectively. So is that going to be these type of plays? Because MXS so far, they're finding great value on the holes control at the beginning of the rounds, and then just defaulting across. Again, it's been very slow on how they're working around the map here for Moist X Shopify.
I think it's just difficult too, because there's not a lot of like, I mean, they're solely relying on the double controller to like do the work for the hold here. I feel like they get caught out pretty early regardless, you know, with everything going on, and there's not a lot of stars in the world that'll keep you alive or the site's standing, so kind of needing a more aggressive approach in my opinion when it comes down to DB though. Site already getting ready to be dashed on. Mata goes in with the decay kind of taking place, but it doesn't matter. Retake there for DB, more interested in that. Odashima can't fight mid.
A great start on the defense as well. So not playing as aggressively, just putting bodies at the right spot. Now there's the op on the retake though.
Poison's gone. My ult's ready.
Beautiful. Another shot from Mata. And can look for more, but you see the util of Zachary pulling out the ultimate to try to gather information. Oh, and they push themselves down towards back. A huge flick, and now a flash as well. The shock dart does the damage. And it would have been a beautiful round if they could have managed to keep themselves alive, but unfortunately as Zachary goes down, so does Ange. And so do the points as well, 5-0.
MXS have been so annoying with the amount of times and the amount of players that they keep having towards the arches at the pulse plant. You see how they're not able to get value and too much utility on the retake. And then lurks coming through from Vic. It's looking to be very difficult right now for DB to force to play retakes. But when they're trying to play now on an eco now, they're trying to get a Guardian out in the hands of Ange. He's looking for mid control at the start. You're already seeing here, despite, I mean, this is an anti-eco, we could maybe hold back for a bit, see what happens now. Yeah, I mean, with drone dying, that's an easy plant. So you see here, at least from that radar, Ange is putting up an instant smoke towards the A holes. That might be something that might be of value later on for DB when they've realized the amount of times that Mata's been getting early advantage of holes, and they might try to push down in that area to support more on mid control and fast rotates on lurks.
See ya.
But for now, it's not going to be the case because Mata's just owning with the rest of MXS now on the map control that they're getting.
Oh, he's got to keep going. Okay. Just tearing it up, honestly, on the site. MXS are successful. Which, wow. Really goes to show, like, you never know how the map is going to go. And it could really just rely on the players and the vibe and what's really going on. But, yeah, 6-0. Absolutely insane.
What is the real answer? The second time now that you're going to try to pull out this op. I mean, they are finding their groove from MXS. It really doesn't... It almost shows here that this series just kind of started for Moisex Shopify. We mentioned it again, not flustered at all from the first map that looked so good into this unorthodox composition for Dobros. MXS still trying to tempo up here very quickly towards this B site. An op that goes and connects it to Nest. Now Riku is going to have to try to work magic, make wonders, and look at that, the TP. Once they heard the Euro TP towards this B site, they know A side's weak. So Ange has to come up nuclear in front of A main, where he's currently holding control.
But they've dashed onto site, so Mata, he's holding so much, but immediately gets shut down. So Dobros, they don't have as much space as they did prior.
Spike planted.
They're still holding on. I mean, significant amount. Actually, nothing to utilize to try to push themselves in. Fly using... Actually, Zachary using the last of their flash to try to get themselves in on the defense, but it's Flya watching with the op. That first one comes through, and Odashima's ready to find something else. And it doesn't matter. Everybody else just walking into the crosshair of MXS in a very easy round once again.
Dude, what a nice play by Moisex Shopify. The amount of times that they're just hard hitting the sights. Yeah. And then once they realize here for DB is like, okay, well, if we're trying to play retake, it's not working out. So let's try to put more bodies in the sights. Let's try to put those TPs where Zachary could help out for flashing and triple swings. And as soon as they hear the TP, they pivot all the way back towards the A site and capitalize on the round. And the amount of first bloods are also coming in favor of MXS. They're really catching DB off guard when we thought that at this point, DB had the perfect reads. When you're thinking back on Lotus, they always were one step ahead of how Moisex Shopify were trying to work their attack side. But not this time around here on Breeze, where the Owl drone almost caught on Ange here. But at least the players will. A mid pinch towards the A site.
Not wanting to lose out on the opportunity of getting their first point on the board, but even then the Blade Storm, how much is that going to do when got so many players left on site? The util, I mean, a Viper's wall kind of just residing and holding the angle. Now everybody else just getting taken down, but Zachary finding one of their own. Could it work? Maybe, but also maybe not. Drone
here,
looking towards the back, but not actually understanding where these players might be. Yeah, and it's just the unfortunate reality of having those Vandals and the angle, and now especially with the plant going down, there's so much tension in a moment like this one. Shock Dart's not going to do too much, and now especially two angles needing to be held in timing of the essence. They know they're walking up.
Revealing area.
Oh, that's really left
There
is
they are.
to peek, which, yeah, already done.
Already done and dusted. 8 rounds unanswered by MXS so far, and playing against an eco this time to get 3 kills at least for Dobros. That's not too bad. But your pockets are deep rather for MXS so far. Nice shots at least to cushion up at least the stats. And Zachary also dying on that last kill right over here allows for him to get the dimensional drift in the next round. So the Yuri ult ready to move forward and maybe hopefully get value out of this. Lots of ults actually on the board for DB. Maybe their first opportunity now to put at least 1 point. Oh. Anyways, it took a lot of rounds to finally get these ults online, though, right? You're looking at precision. There's somebody that was, you know, an all-star player on the first map and unfortunately getting shut down so far, and it's not to his fault, right? He's currently playing A side, helping out in that area, trying to play mid, trying to find information for the team, but MXS are doing the hard hits towards these sites, and it doesn't give a chance here for Precision to set up for his team. So at this point, the game plan for MXS to try just keep DB on their toes is working out quite well. And that's why, with all these deaths, sorry to cut you here, Gompers,
no, you're good.
8 deaths coming through, that's finally an ult available at that point. And the rest of the kill differential off the board. I mean, that's why I wanted to talk about the KDA. It's not about the non-factor of these players inside the server, but it's a lack of kills on their end that makes these ults come up so late before they could actually have an opportunity to score first, or finally score something on the board for the team on defense.
Yeah, MXS are honestly, I don't even feel like they're trying sometimes. Like, they just look so comfortable and honestly very, very good. Even now, I'm kind of curious to see how Riku's going to handle this op. I know, they're trying to test that movement going up forward. They know this team likes to push up towards mid, but even then, now op giving away that MXS has it. They want to fight this. They're feeling confident from Riku. Now they back off.
The upshot missed. So that's unfortunate. So they know once again that Riku has this op, and usually an op that misses a shot or not shot that actually connects, you're always going to rotate it somewhere else. So MXS is just taking advantage of that miss to just reposition towards mid and flood back towards the A side. The only thing here for Ange this time, though, is that he doesn't know that there's somebody flanking towards A main as well. So it might still become a 1 versus 1 trade.
There. Flashbang.
No, but Fly is kind of prepped and ready with the suppression that could be used. I mean, honestly, do they really even need it? The op isn't posing a threat at the moment. Ange just got their first pick, and now Hunter's Fury making way on the defense. This is the perfect case scenario for this team of DB. Dobro's all they need.
Pinned, though.
Yeah.
4 players on the pulse plant. They're getting pinched from A main and also from bridge. Recalled smoke came through, and there you go. That's gonna make things a little bit more difficult though. Playing against an op, kind of difficult.
Ange knows, but
One enemy
kind of
remaining.
risking it for the biscuit there. Yeah, both players just gone. Eliminated. MXS not giving any leeway. And it's so fascinating that they've only lost 1. And I feel like that's kind of like what we've been saying. It's barely losing any of their players, always keeping the site pretty intact. It's like impossible for DB to get through.
I don't know why Gompers, but I just felt like this was going to happen when I was going to be so impressed by DB and gas him up and then show that they have what it takes. It's just going to be one-sided on the other end for MXS, and they're going to push this easily to a 3rd map.
It always happens that way. It's so you like get so happy because you're like, oh my gosh, it's different. Like the narrative is changing, and then they just reel it back in.
And it starts off with a one-hit wonder composition from DB that maybe threw MXS for a loop. But as I mentioned before, when you're throwing out this composition, putting Zachary onto a Yoru and not playing the mirror composition that DB usually brings out on this map, MXS could still be ready for this type of comp. You're always seeing them able to really kind of get ahead until this finally happens. A solo push-up from Otoshima. Ange getting punished here as he's... Oh, no, he's actually... Oh, no, he's not pinned. He's not pinned, but he's flashed. Unfortunate.
It's because they don't have deadlock. I'm gonna call it here right now.
Deadlock on Breeze, I mean, that is reaching.
Just put it in the middle of the field. It'll work. Just believe me. You guys just need to trust me on that. This is crazy. I don't even know what to say. And it's like, they're trying so hard, you can tell. But I just feel like they've kind of lost the cohesion we saw before. The Yoru's literally just running by themselves on site with absolutely no push-up. And now flash, and now they die. It's crazy. And they played so well before, so it's surprising to see the performance now. Now even then, crosshold, right? Being held.
Yeah. But to see that
understand.
Mata this whole time had time to 180, pull out the op, zoom in, and get the kill onto Zachary coming out the ult. Just kind of shows where even the positioning coming out from the ult, or wherever they want to play in terms of these crossfire setups for DB are just not working out in their favor. This was the only good thing that we've seen so far from DB, unfortunately, on the defensive side.
Yeah.
The L drone to get clears, and you know, sometimes you're trying to save that util for the L drone at the minute mark to try to get in for or whatnot. But I feel that this might be, you know, an opportunity here to get a little bit more proactive with the information that you're trying to get and follow behind that initiator utility, especially if it's only solo initiate on your end. Screw it, try it. What else do you have to lose, man? You're behind 0 to 10.
There so much to look at too, because Zachary did not buy at all, but like everybody else just invested into this round, which is interesting.
Yeah,
to kind of see.
and I think it's just maybe trying to get an op on the next round, but I do agree with you. It's kind of weird when the rest of the team bought with him or bought without him. At least a first blood out in favor of Dobros. This is, once again, a nice little start. But they weren't able to convert the last few times they were able to get first blood. Huge ults out and available for MXS. They might just pop into this B side, especially with this lurk.
Cage triggered. Get me up. Where is everyone hiding?
Oh, yeah, especially after that hat.
Nowhere to run!
Yeah, looking to pop the ult. And Brock is just looking to end it off. Honestly, this feels absolutely brutal. Shots are hitting. Absolutely nothing is missing. I mean, maybe then, but Ange kind of running away with that is going to be the last one alive. So can they take the 1v3? Possibly.
No.
He's going to have to see that in action. Maybe not. Fortune teller Vans.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing how these shots have been landing for MXS so far, it really is a night and day in terms of how comfortable they are in these individual duels. And it just feels like there's no answer. I mean, not feel. It literally shows that there's no answer for DB so far and how they're trying to work that map. You see now the share that was only purchased on that previous round only ends up being a rifle, a Vandal for Zachary. So no ops coming out in the last round for a Yoru op. That maybe could have been another thing they could have tried, but looks like MXS just want to finish the second map here. A quick push towards this B site. Or A site, sorry.
Yeah, trying their best. Monica kind of stuck on the backside, but it's so, like, they just go by themselves when it comes to MXS, which is surprising because they've had such a good run before. You know, with getting themselves onto site. You had the Viper's Pit. Kind of lead yourself into some sort of safety and success, but MXS still keeping hold. It doesn't matter if they lose Mata. Mata there for the information gather, and they did exactly just that. Now Precision stuck inside of the Decay. They're going to figure out eventually, especially now with just teasing. Yeah, teasing the possibilities, but yeah. Viper's Pit goes down. And you know what? Just to start drama, I'm going to say it. Prezi, if you're listening, this is one of the observers time and time again. I hope you enjoyed that.
Dobros, unfortunately at this point, looking so good for MXS, and Dobro's about to look like their logo here if they can't win the pistol round. A huge donut on the scoreboard. And getting bitten by MXS here with full control of their attack side. And now for DB, I mean, they're not looking to get flustered here. Precision has the L drone, so they might want to just go for an A pop on a split towards the A site. The smoke is going to start to get popped up towards the middle. But for MXS, this is just a camera setup here from the A site. Full control towards B to start things off, and they're going to start snowballing for the retake on mid.
Man, Flya.
Okay.
That's
we'll take
just,
those.
Yeah, so brutal. Off center, weird angle, kind of eliminates one. Dude, like, and you can't even run away with one. Like, Ange does not have the space to back away. It's just everybody's there. They have the teamwork. They have, like, the partnership where two players are there. Hey, you die, I got you. And it just works out that way. But, yeah, already Zachary TP'd all the way back into spawn. They're in Narnia at this point, but a 1v2 definitely possible.
And they don't know whether TP was heard. Oh, dude, a great opportunity. Oh, Vic, the dream of a 13-0.
Oh,
No, not gonna
No
happen.
way.
We're on the board. We are on the board with a nice shot from
This
Zachary.
isn't over.
this is finally the change that we've been waiting to see. I know a lot
They
of people
only
say
get 12.
that. Listen,
Planted.
imagine if we go 12-12 or like 11-12 and then it just ends
Dude.
that way. I would actually cry. But at the same time, it would be pretty exciting. I think this is it though. Like, I know a lot of people like preach that this is a very, very T-sided map. Or I guess, yeah, T-sided map. Could be. Could be.
Stay down.
You only get 12.
I think, are you a believer? Are you actually?
I mean, that was a nice shot. That's a great
The-
start.
The one shot with the Outlaw where you just need one body shot.
Yeah. You know, I was gonna have some like Linkin Park terms because you were saying like you got so far, the end it doesn't even matter. But then now it starts with one round, one kill.
Ooh.
Make that a second one with the anti-eco that they're holding towards the spawn. Keeping it antsy for MXS, and this is once they clear out the L drone, this is an open site now for a post plan. Then this is converting 2 rounds potentially on a flawless. The economy continues to spiral up here, or stack up rather, and they're going to have a pretty strong buy because I'm pretty sure at this point at 12-2 potentially, you're going to upgrade to Vandals, you're going to upgrade to everything that you can to just try to have the most chances in your favor here to bring this comeback.
I think they can do it. You know, big investment into this round. I think Zachary's definitely, I mean, could be heavily relying on that Outlaw to see
Right there.
you know, what they can do the next round. But yeah, still wanting to further themselves. But it's only 1 round for MXS to win, and then it's over, which is very concerning. I feel like even now, like for me, I feel anxious thinking about the idea of we need 10 rounds in a row. And if we lose one, it's over.
I feel like it's happened before.
It definitely has. And every round, I would probably shed a tear if I was a player. I don't.
There you go. You see Ange is dropping his weapon, buying into a Vandal, another Guardian drop, buying into a Vandal.
Yes,
So this is what we kind of want to see here. So keeping their cool, keeping calm right now for Dobros, just to make sure that they have the best bias possible. So the long game for MXS is, even if they, oh no.
No way. They're
Oh, no.
they're just destroying. MXS are done. Get the Vandals in their hands and it's over, is what they pretty much are telling me right now. And yeah, okay, we have the smoke set up. A Vandal and a Guardian. I do genuinely believe there is a chance here. But the util needs to be used to perfection. There needs to be not a single shot missed out. And they need to be careful of that damage, especially now 17 seconds
Triple
until
flank.
the suppression comes through. Oh, but it's beautiful, drone! They might have kept them in the game. Even with a headshot, a 1v2. This is possible. Finding
And the
the drone.
shock dart
Yeah.
doesn't allow Precision to get into the drone to get information on Flya, so they have a surprise factor for MXS.
Oh, to the right though, timing, and they hear it. But they could have secured that. They could have wide swung the angle, but they know they need to fight this. And just one more left. It's up to them. They might just be able to get it. It's not there. It's a GG. And MXS, they've taken the win.
I felt at some point it was going to be another clutch coming out here for Precision to start things off on their second half. In their second half. It was such a nice try, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. MXS getting that second map and closing it out. That was beautiful there, though. A beautiful attack side shown by Moistex Shopify at this point now. It comes down to a set where it's going to be potentially the most vanilla thing that we're going to see, too. So I like that the third map is going to be on even grounds.
Oh my gosh. You know, that was a journey. I feel like we bonded as well, fans, over that game. Because that was...
It's a journey. Don't stop believing for either teams. Any fans?
for you guys watching, I'm going to put you to a break to spare you the Van's silly music comments today. But we'll see you guys very, very shortly for that third map. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more VALORANT NA Challengers.
Peace.